Prime aim of tourism marketing to optimize the satisfaction of the tourist. Let us see what is the definition of tourism. According to Krippendorf, depending upon the demand of the customers or tourists, so in order to promote vast coastal line, so that is known as what? Cruise tourism. Symbiotic tourism products. So these are the tourism product which is a combination of natural tourism product as well as. Now let us see what are the benefits of e-marketing. Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth session of the chapter Business Ethics. I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyashram College, Temple of Excellence, Mysore. My dear students, in our previous session, we had learnt about self-employment as well as event management. In today's session, we shall continue with new concept. Today, we shall learn about tourism. Now, what is this tourism? So, tourism plays a very important role in the economic development of a country. Then, what is tourism? Tourism marketing can be defined as a systematic and coordinated efforts performed by the tourist enterprise at international, national and local level. So, this tourism marketing is conducted by whom? Tourist enterprise at local, national and international level. So, it is not confined to a particular place. So, this tourism marketing can take place through all levels. It may be at national, international as well as local levels. So, the prime aim of tourism marketing to optimize the satisfaction of the tourist. So, here they mainly focuses on the satisfaction of the tourist. So, here the feedback of the tourist plays a very important role in the tourism marketing. So, the main aim of tourism marketing is to attract the tourist to a particular place, or in order to satisfy the tourist, groups and individual in view of sustained tourism growth. So, in order for the growth of the tourism, so this feedback of the tourist is very important, or the satisfaction of tourist is very important for the sustained tourism growth. So, this tourism can be grown only by the satisfaction of the tourist. Next is tourism marketing involves marketing of destinations. So, under tourism marketing, we are going to market the destinations or experience of places and locations. So, sharing the experience of places as well as locations. So, what is tourism? So, it is a type of marketing activity which is done by a particular enterprise, that is tourist enterprise, and it is not confined to a particular place. So, it is conducted at national, international as well as local level. And how this tourism can be grown? So, through the satisfaction of the tourist. So, how one can satisfy the tourist? So, what is tourism marketing? So, it involves marketing of the destination. So, here we are marketing a particular place. We are marketing a destination or experience of places and location, or sharing the experience of places as well as location. Now, moving on to the definition of tourism, let us see what is the definition of tourism. According to Krippendorf, marketing in tourism is to be understood as a systematic and coordinated execution of business policy by tourist undertaking. Now, who is undertaking this activity? That is, tourist undertake this execution of the activity, whether private or state owned. So, it may be private or state owned at local, regional, national or international level to achieve the optimal satisfaction. Here the main thing you have to remember is, so here the satisfaction of tourist is very important, which leads to the growth of tourism, of the needs of identifiable consumer groups, and doing so to achieve an appropriate return. So, in order to lead to the growth of tourism, so the satisfaction of the consumer or the tourist is very important. So, this is about tourism. Next, we shall see what are the characteristics of tourism services. So, the first one is basic service features. So, the main characteristics of tourism is service. So, here it is inseparable, imperishable. So, these are the main features of tourism. And the second one is stable locations. So here the location can't move from one place to another. Here the tourist has to move from one place to another. So if we want to see a hill, so we have to move towards the hill. Hill will not come towards us, right? So here the tourism locations are stable. So it will not move from one place to another. Here the consumer or tourist has to move to that particular location. And the next one is seasonal demand. Tourism is mainly depend on seasonal demand. So depending upon the seasons, so demand for the tourism will be differs. So for each and every location there will be a seasonal demand. So depending upon the season, the demand of the consumers or the tourist will differ. And the next one is huge financial investment. Of course, in order to maintain these tourist places, it requires a huge financial investment. So even the government will support, or even the authorities will support for the huge investment for the maintenance of these tourist places. And the next one is interdependence of tourism products. So here, if you think about tourism, it is interdependent to each other. For example, if a tourist come to see a particular place, so here the accommodation, transportation, so these are the interdependent to each other. So they are not separated from each other. So where they stay, where the accommodation being provided, so it is interdependent to each other. So it is not that a particular place where they are visiting. So here the transportation, so here the accommodation, so they are interdependent to each other, which is known as what? Tourism products. And the next one is volatile. So this tourism marketing differs from one situation to another situation. So depending upon the demand of the customers or tourists, so this tourism marketing has to be varied. So it has to be made changes. And the next one is non-standardization. So the standard of the tourism depends on whole tourism products. So it may be from accommodation, or it may be from communication, or it may be from transportation, or it may be from watching that particular place, or beauty of that particular place. So this standardization differs from top to bottom. In order to get a standard tourism, so what you have to do, from each and every aspect is taken into consideration. Then only a standardized tourism service can be given to a tourist. Next concept is types of tourism in India. So the first one is medical tourism. So the government has taken lot of initiatives to make the tourism into medical tourism. And the next one is rural tourism. So rural tourism in the sense, so promoting the art culture of the country. So they are promoting rural tourism mainly in order to promote the art and culture of the country. Next is cruise tourism. So it is being promoted in order to promote the vast coastal line. So in order to promote vast coastal line, so that is known as what? Cruise tourism. So the next concept is tourism products. Now let us see what are the tourism products. So under that, the first one is natural tourism products. So what is natural tourism products? So these are the tourism products which are there in the nature. It is the beauty of the nature. So it is not man-made. So it is the beauty of nature. It is already existed. So they are known as what? Tourism, natural tourism products. For example, waterfalls, beaches, valleys, mountains. So they are not man-made. So it is the beauty of nature. It's already there. So that is known as what? Natural tourism products. And the second one is man-made tourism products. So the word itself says that, so these are the tourism products which is made by the man. So under that, the first one is culture. So culture, as I told, so this different temples, monuments, so these are comes under culture. And the next one is traditions. So this is also man-made. So man-made tourism products like art, music, dance, dressing style, this comes under traditions. Next, entertainment. So those tourism products which are mainly done for the entertainment. For example, amusement parks. So these are the entertainment which is made by the man. So these are also a tourism product. Next is business. So even the tourism product can be relating to business. For example, participating in seminars. So these kind of tourism products where the people travel in order to attend a business events. So that comes under man-made tourism product. And the third type is symbiotic tourism products. So these are the tourism product which is a combination of natural tourism product as well as man-made tourism products. So natural beauty will always be there. So for that certain changes which is made by the man. So under that the first one is aerial adventurous sports. So this is adventurous sports where the nature is always there. So for that certain changes has been made by the man. So for example, skydiving, bungee jumping, so these are the adventurous sports which is related to air. So it is a combination of natural tourism products as well as man-made tourism products. And the next one is water-based adventurous sports. That is river rafting. So river is a natural tourism product. So a man-made tourism product has been added. That is river rafting is the best example for water-based adventurous sports. Next, land-based adventurous tourist products. So here the example would be trekking, mountaineering. So here the mountain is already there. For that a man-made tourism products has been added. That is land-based adventurous tourist products. The next concept is e-marketing, that is electronic marketing. So in the earlier days we had traditional marketing. So the recent trend in marketing is what? E-marketing. So what is e-marketing? E-marketing is also known as web marketing, online marketing and internet marketing. So e-marketing is also known as what? Web marketing, online marketing as well as internet marketing. It refers to marketing the products over the internet or any other computer network. So unlike traditional marketing, so where we are going to purchase a product from a seller, but whereas in e-marketing, so we are going near the seller and we are purchasing the product was traditional marketing, but under e-marketing we are purchasing the product through internet or any other computer network is known as what? E-marketing or electronic marketing, and it is also known as web marketing, online marketing as well as internet marketing, because we are using internet and we are buying the products from the seller. Now let us see what are the benefits of e-marketing. So the first benefit is convenience and quick service. Of course, very convenient. So this e-marketing is very convenient. So wherever we are, so the products will reach us, right? So in certain rural areas it can't be reached, but other than that, so in all the city places we can reach, so the products will reach to the doorstep of the consumer. So it is very convenient and quick service. So if the product is in far places, so we need not go to that particular place in order to purchase the product. So sitting at home, so the product will come to our home, and it is a quick service. And the next one is low cost of operations. So here this transportation cost, so these all reduces. So we need not go to that particular far places in order to purchase the product. So low cost of operation. With less amount we can get that product. So the cost of operation is less. And the next one is track and measure and track results. So we can track our product, so where our product is actually is. So we can get the track result of that particular products what we have, what we want to buy. And the next one is demographic targeting. So when a product is being sold more in a particular target market, so that particular target market can be identified. So that demographic targeting can be possible through internet marketing or e-marketing, that is electronic marketing. So when a product is being sold on a particular place in large number, so we can identify that target market, we can identify that consumer. So who are the target market? And the next one is global marketing. Of course, through internet we can reach all over the world. So the market for a particular product is not confined to a particular region. So the whole world will become the market for that particular products. So even the product is visible all over the world, even the customers will also be all over the world. And the next one is ability of multitask. Here under electronic marketing, multitask can be made. So various kinds of activity can be done in a particular time. So for example, ordering, selling, buying. So these all activities takes place at a particular moment. Even the transactions will be more under electronic marketing. So the transactions takes place very quickly. So the ability of multitask. So here it is not confined to a particular task. So various types of tasks can be done under one time. In a one time is known as what? Ability of multitask. And the most advantage is that 24/7 marketing. So all the days in a week, so this marketing takes place. There is no closing, there is no opening in the marketing. So we can buy the product 24/7. So it is electronic marketing is what? 24/7 marketing. Data collection for personalization. So here the data can be collected very easily. So who are the interested customers of the business? So the data can be collected very easily through electronic marketing. So because we know who are liking our product. So what is the feedback of our product? So the data collection can be made immediately. Whereas under traditional marketing it is quite difficult. So after reaching the customer, so it is quite difficult to get the feedback from the customer. Whereas in electronic marketing, so it is very easy to collect the data. Next, diversified marketing. So here the marketing is diversified to all over the world. So here the customers is not confined to a particular place. So here the diversification is more. So wherever the information about the product is reached, there everywhere the customer for the product will also be more. So it is a diversified marketing. It is spread all over the world. And even the advertising also. So here the advertising can also be made by sales promotional activities or promotional activities. So here the advertisement is not confined to a particular place. So we can advertise through all over the world. Next is instant transaction service. Of course, the transaction takes place very quickly, right? So buying and selling takes place very quickly, and even the payment is through online mode transactions also. So this transactions, instant transaction service also takes place very quickly. Next, better sales relationship. So here the sales relationship between the customer as well as buyer will remain. So when a product is being sold, if it is being liked, then the new arrival of the products will be given to the customer. So it will be communicated to the customer. So there will be a best relationship between the producer as well as consumers. Next, time effective marketing. So it requires less time in order to take the transactions. So whenever the product is being arrived in a very recent or in a very less time, this product will be reached to the consumers. So if the products are available in far places, so we can't go there. So it nearly takes days to gather in order to reach that product. But through electronic marketing, this time effective marketing takes place very easily. Next, continued marketing campaign. So this marketing campaign which contains all the details of the product, so it can be changed often and often. So whenever the changes are there in the products, so this campaign can also be changed. Whereas in traditional marketing, it is very difficult to change the marketing campaign. Whereas in this electronic marketing, so it can be this marketing campaign can be changed. If there is any alter in the product or if there is any uniqueness in the product, so it can be changed often and often depending upon the situation as well as features of the product. Now let us see what are the disadvantages of e-marketing. So these are the few disadvantages. So the first one is being branded as a spammer. So taking the brand of some other product and cheating the customers, burning out your list. So taking the details of the customers and cheating the customers, breaking the law, that is breaking the rules and regulations, alienating readers. So this also happens under e-marketing. Next, delivery issues, design issues, keeping customers engaged. So if a customer likes a product, so irritating the customers to buy the product. And then last one is resource intensive. So these are the disadvantages of e-marketing. Now let us see what are the impacts of e-marketing. That is, the first one is impact on individuals. That is how the e-marketing is impacting on a particular individuals while buying the products through e-marketing. And the next one is impact on community. So on a community on a whole. How e-marketing will impact on the community on a whole. And the next one is impact on business. So how this e-marketing will impact on the business, how it helps the business to sell their products to the ultimate consumers. Next, impact on society. So these are the impacts of e-marketing. My dear students, in today's session we had learnt about tourism and e-marketing. See you all in my next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.